Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. The big hits just keep on coming when it comes to EVO 2024. We've already had a lot of really big news we've covered on the channel. Check that out. And for Tekken 8, we got some pretty big news. Despite rumors to the contrary, despite what Tekken 7 told you, despite what Tekken 8 told you, despite what Harada told you, Heihachi Mishima is not dead. In fact, he's very much alive coming into Tekken 8, and as a DLC character, you can purchase him for a nominal fee, because that's how this works. Many said it could never happen. To me, honestly, if you didn't see this happening, you have no idea how business works, because of course he was going to be DLC. Of course he was going to be DLC. Basically free money. Ever since Street Fighter learned they could charge DLC money for Akuma, a lot of classic characters, you're going to be paying for them in the years to come. That's just how this works. But yes, despite all the red herrings, despite all the misdirection, he is here, and we don't have a gameplay trailer just yet. A bit too early. Like, Lidia's coming out very shortly. There's only a few characters for the Season Pass for Tekken 8, so we're going to have to wait and see. But given what little we see in the trailer here, and given what the Tekken monks are doing, which are some very suspiciously flavored Heihachi-style movements and attacks, it is probably a very safe bet that Heihachi will play like Heihachi, and of course that's exactly what you would want. You're not getting the big guy to not play the big guy, right? So gameplay, we don't have much in the way of any information, unfortunately. However, what you're seeing in this trailer is information in and of itself. If you're unaware, they did promise a secondary story mode for the characters. Basically, all the DLC characters, they're doing their own things. They have their own adventures and stories to tell, like Lidia, like Eddie, right? And they're happening concurrently with the main story of Tekken 8. And we know nothing like this scale is launching with Lidia, but perhaps now that they're showing this with Heihachi, this will launch with the Heihachi DLC, which of course means if it launches with Heihachi, the final character isn't important to the story mode. So then that means perhaps the final character for the season is indeed a guest character. And hey, Tekken is a pretty big fan of the guest characters, so I would say consider that more likely than not. Now, for the story bits we're seeing, we know the second story mode is concurrent with the main Tekken 8 storyline. So Lidia and Eddie will have whatever adventures they're going to have, but we see Heihachi here. And the thing, besides the fact that he's alive, is he looks noticeably younger. Not that he looks young necessarily, but Tekken 7 Heihachi was very old looking. And here his hair is just gray instead of shock white, looking a bit more middle-aged, looking a bit more in his prime. Maybe Kazuya threw him in the healing lava and screwed up? They do go out of their way to show, the big final punch where Kazuya defeated Heihachi in the Tekken 7 story mode, right? That's a thing. And then going back to Heihachi, you can see very visibly sort of like the fist imprint or like something like an impact mark on his chest. So maybe the transference of devil energy combined with lava equals healing power? You'd think that'd be too silly, but this is Tekken, baby. This is not even the beginning of how silly this franchise gets. Then again, what we're seeing from these cinematics here, what is presumably Heihachi here as the Tekken monk, we do see the longer hair, although it is, more graying, not necessarily full-on white. So perhaps this is an alternate costume, an alternate skin. I'm assuming this is Heihachi because, this is the Heihachi moveset, right? Whatever it is, I'm sure it's a big mystery to be revealed, not the least of which we're showcasing characters like Reina as well. It's not just the DLC characters. And Reina's whole game plan, spoilers for Tekken 8 if you didn't do it, is to avenge or get some measure of justice for Heihachi's death. So maybe she has a plan in the resurrection? Or maybe it's just all weird gobbledygook, who knows? The other thing besides the announcement is talk about is the leak, the data mine, now that it's been subverted to a degree. Now, if you're unaware, there was DLC characters found in the files of the game. Among them was, say, Lidia, who, well, she comes out in a couple days, right? I think she comes out tomorrow. But also Craig Marduk and Fakum Ram. So what happened to these guys then? So Lidia was 100% correct, right? But they are not anywhere to be found. So what happens? Does that mean they're not coming? And, well, there's no 100% way to know for sure, right? Just because they didn't show right now, and they don't necessarily fit the mold of what the current DLC lineup is, there's only one more spot after here, it doesn't mean they're going anywhere. Because stuff like this has happened before. Famously, there was the Guilty Gear Strive data mine, which showed a lot of characters that would eventually come up in the future throughout the first year of DLC, but one of them was Slayer. And when it comes to Slayer, we had him basically dead to rights as far as the data mine goes. Like, straight up, like, we had intro dialogues and stuff, right? But Slayer didn't show up in year 1, didn't show up in year 2. Only recently did Slayer finally show up. So just because you're in the game files doesn't necessarily mean you're coming out right away, right? So it could very well be that, Craig and Falcon Ram are like, year 2 or year 3 characters. They're still probably very likely, but maybe not just happening just yet. Who knows? Time will tell. It's not an exact science. The only people that know are the developers themselves, and they hate data mines. They don't want this stuff to get out, right? All that said, though, checking social media, people are definitely very happy with Heihachi, so it's kind of good vibes all around. Whatever DLC in the future may come will come, but for now, Heihachi is our third character for year 1 of Tekken 8, and he's Heihachi. He's a cool character. I think most of y'all will like him. Looking forward to seeing more of it myself, but for now, that is the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Tekken.